The Trump trade is in full swing. The victory of Trump in the elections has generated a lot of debate in the economic world. However, a lot of it comes from a very significant confirmation bias of neo-Keynesian consensus. Let's try to debunk a few of the things that this social democratic consensus tends to say about the perils and the opportunities of the Trump economic plan. To start with, let's look at this JP Morgan graph, which shows us that virtually everything that they see negative is inflationary. We're going to debunk that pretty soon. More importantly, the idea that tariffs, the fiscal and regulation and sentiment improvement are going to be sort of bundled together is quite challenging. What I think actually is that it's more likely that you see a pro-growth set of strategies that improve on sentiment and that helps the fiscal environment, certainly with lower taxes that will generate higher revenues, as we saw between 2016 and 2021. The most important part is whether there will be a strong government budget cut, whether there will be a true efficiency improvement in government spending in order to reduce the deficit, reduce debt, and strengthen the US dollar. Let's go to the next graph. If we go to the next graph, what we can see is one of the biggest lies in the economic debate about tariffs. I'm not a defender of tariffs, so let's start with that. But it's one of the most ludicrous things repeated over and over by neo-Keynesians is that tariffs increase inflation, however, government spending does not. This is ridiculous. And it's exactly the opposite. And let me explain why. Number one, more government spending means more units of currency issued and artificially higher money velocity. That creates inflation. Tariffs, on the other hand, may have other negative consequences. Shifts in trade impact, lower velocity of money, even challenges on a geopolitical level, but they do not cause inflation. Tariffs do not generate more issuance of new units of currency. Tariffs may increase some individual prices if demand is inelastic and production is entirely offshore, something that is exceedingly rare in any case. But they do not increase aggregate prices, let alone consistently and annually, which is what CPI measures. You can only increase aggregate prices consistently and yearly by printing currency. Let's go to the next graph. In the next graph, what we can see is certainly that there can be a shift in global trade. And this is something that we need to pay a lot of attention to. And we need to monitor it to see if tariffs used as a negotiation tool actually work in order to reduce the protectionism of the EU and China, which is enormous. Let's go to the next graph. Tariffs can actually generate a tremendous amount of revenue, between 300 to 400 billion of new revenue for the United States, and that may reduce deficits and certainly improve the fiscal position of the United States. But tariffs are not a given wonderful magic wand, and they need to be certainly used as a tool to improve the free trade of other economies, i.e., eliminate the protectionism of China and the EU, particularly so-called environmental one. Support for NATO will continue. However, we need to be very aware of the risk of bringing it to more spending, more defense spending from the European Union. That there could be a very significant reduction in imports from China, but that is very likely and inevitable. Therefore, look at it any way you want to look at it. The Trump tariffs are a very important tool to negotiate an improvement in trade, but a negotiation tool. Everyone can benefit if this helps to reduce the protectionism of China and the EU. Keep defending freedom.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.